Birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, whatever the occasion, it just got a little more personal with meaningful photo gifts from Shutterfly. Add a silly photo to a gold-rimmed mug for your bestie. Put your sweet puppy on a cozy fleece blanket for your teen. Gift your husband a desktop plaque featuring all the kids. Enjoy 40% off orders over $29 with code POD40 at Shutterfly.com and make something that means something.
I'm Dr. Wendy Hunter, and I'm the pediatrician next door. I'm that doctor friend you call for practical advice about your kid's health. I mix the science of medicine with the reality of parenting. I am finishing up celebrating my 100th episode again this week. If you recall, I covered 50 of the best parenting tips I've heard on my last episode, and I'm finishing up today with an additional 50. These are things that parents sent in to me after I made a request on social media, and I've got some really great information. I finished the last episode talking about family bonding, so I've got a couple more tips to cover there. Picking back up with the category of family bonding and tips that parents sent in to me, I've got tip 51. Let's see what it says. Keep a family gratitude journal. Take the gratitude practice a step further with a family journal. Dedicate a few minutes each week to sit down together and write or draw what you're thankful for. Ooh, I love that idea because kids love to draw. It's a beautiful way to bond and teaches kids the value of reflection and appreciation. So I know I talked about having family meetings and things like that, and this is definitely a tip that you can incorporate into your family meeting. Tip 52, let kids help in the kitchen. Ooh, that does promote family bonding. I love this idea. Let's see what this listener said. She said, kids love getting hands-on, and cooking together is the perfect mix of fun and learning. Start with simple tasks like stirring batter or washing veggies, and work up to letting them measure or chop with supervision. Oh, that's a good point. It's a great way to teach life skills, spark curiosity about food, and create memories. Plus, they're more likely to eat when they help make things. Ooh, that's so true. It's true about gardening too. I love that when you get kids in the garden. I love this tip. Okay, there are lots of cooking kits too that you can get for kids. And I know I talked about that in a previous episode. So let's get kids in the kitchen. Okay, tip 53. This is the last one in the category of family bonding. It's get kids involved in giving. Ooh, I also like this one. All right, this person said, teach empathy and kindness by making a family activity of giving. Encourage kids to donate toys that they no longer use, bake cookies for neighbors. Ooh, I like that idea. Or volunteer at a local shelter. I also love when you can collect flowers and make flower arrangements for neighbors. That's always fun too. All right, this listener said, it's an eye-opening way to show kids the impact they can have on others' lives. Helping as a family makes it even more meaningful and fun. I love this idea too, because I know that giving and volunteering are both really powerful ways to promote happiness and prevents depression and anxiety. So it's really good for your mental health. You know, we talk a lot about self-care in terms of nutrition and sleep and getting exercise, but community service and giving is another component that really, really helps kids to, be resilient and happy. Okay, the next category is fun and creativity. I think we got a lot of really, really good tips in this category. Tip 54, encourage outdoor play. Yeah, see, I just talked about this. Basically, getting exercise, being outdoors, that's really good for your health, mental health. All right, this one says, fresh air, sunshine, and space to run around. That is the ultimate recipe for happy, healthy kids. Oh, I know, I totally just said that. Outdoor play isn't just great for physical activity. It helps reduce stress, improves focus, and boosts mood. Whether it's riding bikes, climbing trees, or chasing butterflies, let kids explore and enjoy the wonders of the great outdoors. Okay, that's a great tip. Thank you. Tip 55, encourage imaginative play. Oh yeah, this is a good point. We often don't get into the imagination with our kids, and we should. Okay, this tip says, kids don't need fancy toys to fuel their imagination. A cardboard box can be a spaceship, a castle, or a race car. Costumes, stuffed animals, and open-ended toys like building blocks inspire creativity and problem solving. Plus, imaginative play is how kids process their world. It's as important for their development as any structured activity. Good point. Thank you. Love that one. Tip 56, create art stations. I think we've kind of talked about this before in other categories. Set up a little corner with paper, crayons, markers, and Play-Doh. Art stations encourage kids to express themselves while giving you a moment to breathe. You don't need anything fancy. Even a shoebox full of supplies works. Ooh, that's a good idea because I got a lot of shoe boxes just piled in the corner I need to recycle. All right, this also says, bonus, art stations are a great way to reduce screen time while keeping their hands and minds busy. That is also a very good point. We got to keep our kids busy. That is the best way to battle them asking for screen time. It's really hard to limit screen time, and it's easier just to distract them and have them be too busy for it. Tip 57, use a rewards jar. This one says, positive reinforcement is my best defense. Grab a jar, let kids add beads, marbles, or pom-poms for good behavior or accomplishments like sharing, finishing homework, or helping out. When the jar is full, celebrate with a family treat like ice cream or a movie night. It's a simple way to encourage good habits without overloading on material rewards. Okay, so this is a really good point this listener makes. And that is that when you reward your child, when the jar is full, choosing something that is time together is far more powerful than making a trip to Target to buy a new toy. I had a really good friend who is a pediatrician use this strategy, and she called it the warm fuzzy jar. And I loved that because she got the little craft pom-poms, and she would just catch her child being good, or both of her kids being good. And they got to the point where they would compete with each other to be better than the other child so that they could win their warm fuzzies. And she would just put those little pom-pom into a jar. And once it was full, they would go out together. Okay, enough said. Tip 58, set up weekly themes. Oh my God, this is like what we do at work. It's kind of annoying. Like we'll have a theme for the week and everybody has to dress up or like have a food at lunchtime that's on theme. I would rather do this at home. So this is a great idea. I didn't think about doing this at home. All right, this one says, add structure to your week with a fun theme like Taco Tuesdays, Story Saturdays, or Wacky Sock Wednesdays. It gives everyone in the family something to look forward to. It's an easy way to make everyday moments feel more special, and you can start a new family tradition in the process. Okay, this is brilliant. I love this. It also makes picking something for dinner easier if you like always have pizza on Fridays or taco on Tuesdays. Okay, tip 59, turn cleanup into a game. Yes. I think a lot of families do this because cleaning up is not very much fun. This listener says, who says tidying has to be boring? Set a timer and challenge your kids to beat the clock, or play your child's favorite song and see how much they can put away before the song ends. Making cleanup a game teaches responsibility without you nagging, and it's more fun for everyone. All right, we love tips when we don't have to nag. So that was turn cleanup into a game. Love that one. Write that one down. 60, pretend with them. Okay, this is a lot like using your imagination. This one says, as an adult, we seem to stop pretending. It's hard for us to do. It feels awkward. Maybe it feels like lying or feels fake. During the pandemic lockdown, I pretended our kitchen and dining room were a different restaurant from time to time. I made menus, put on theme music, and took my family's orders. It reminded me of when I was a kid, and my friend and I had an entire pretend town in her garage. We had a bank and a restaurant and a school too. Ooh, I like that idea. Okay, let's see if we can pretend with our kids. Next category, technology and media. So this is a perfect segue from talking about screen time. So tip 61, limit screen time, set boundaries, and offer alternatives. All right, this is sort of what I was talking about before, just keep them busy. But we need to talk about boundaries for screen time as well. So this is a great tip. All right, this one says, screens are everywhere, and while they can be helpful, it's important to create limits. Decide on specific times or durations for your kids' screen use, like 30 minutes after homework is done, or have a rule for no screens after 7 p.m. Be sure to offer appealing alternatives like a board game, or do a puzzle together, or take a walk to the park. The key is consistency, so kids know what to expect and they don't end up arguing over screen time every day. This tip was great, and my favorite part was that the person added on to it just a little note to me. She said, I love learning from your Instagram. I am a pediatric intern, and I had my very first baby a little over 7 weeks ago. As a new mom, the best advice I have been given is be wary of social media. Okay, that's kind of ironic since she contacted me on social media. Anyway, she said, even as a doctor in training, I see sensationalized videos and have to remind myself, wait, use your logic brain. This is not accurate information. Okay, that's a good point. Not to mention the imposter syndrome is real as a mom and as a budding pediatrician. That's so interesting because she's on social media, probably partly just because you don't have a whole lot of time to socialize. So it's a good way to connect with people. But she reminds herself not to compare herself and have imposter syndrome, and also to not compare herself to other moms and pediatricians. Okay, tip 62. Have technology-free zones like the dinner table or bedroom. All right, very good point. We really need to have a lot of tips here on screen time and technology because it's such a huge part of our lives now. This tip says, declaring certain areas in your home as tech-free zones can help foster strong connections and healthier habits. For instance, make mealtime about conversation and sharing stories, not checking phones or tablets. Similarly, keeping technology out of bedrooms ensures that kids get quality sleep and associate their sleep space with relaxation rather than overstimulation. Having a charging station outside the bedroom can also help enforce this rule. That is a really good point they make, is that we don't want to have our sleep associated with technology because it is overstimulating and it is always going to interrupt your sleep. The last tip I have in this section is tip 63, have a morning playlist. Fun songs keep the routine moving. Oh, I love this tip. Okay, let's see what it says. It says, transform your mornings with a playlist of upbeat, family-friendly songs that motivate everyone to get ready. Choose tunes that align with tasks like brushing teeth, getting dressed, or eating breakfast. You can even use specific songs as time markers, like tell your child, once this song ends, it's time to put on shoes. Music not only sets a positive tone for the day, but also turns what could be a rushed or stressful routine into a fun and energetic start. Oh, this is such a great tip because we all have like either a Sonos or an Amazon, whatever it's called, that plays music. I just never actually set it up. But if you have a few morning playlists that you create, you can set up your child to do a routine like brush their teeth, get dressed, put on their shoes, get their backpack, whatever it is. But doing the same thing at the same time every day with the same song, brilliant. I think I need to incorporate this into my life too. The next section is on health tips. These are going to be some good ones. Listen close. Okay, tip 64, prioritize sleep hygiene. Okay, very good point. This one says, good sleep is essential for kids' growth, learning, and mood. Create a calming bedtime routine that starts about 30 minutes before lights out. Dim the lights, turn off screens, do quiet activities like reading a book or talking about the day. Consistency is key. Try to keep bedtimes and wake times the same every day, even on weekends. A predictable routine helps kids fall asleep faster and wake up feeling refreshed. This is clearly from one of the sleep consultants. I have a bunch of them that I'm friends with on Instagram. So love that. I have done so many episodes on sleep. So if you want to know more about this, go back. Anyway, no more, not new more. Anyway, you hear me. Okay, tip 65. Sneak veggies into meals. Ooh, I don't know if I'm going to like this one. I actually think it's terrible to sneak veggies into stuff. I think your kids should know what's in their food. But anyway, okay, let me see what they said. This mom said, if your kids aren't big fans of vegetables, get creative. Blend spinach or kale into a fruit smoothie. They won't even taste it. Puree carrots, zucchini, or butternut squash to mix into pasta sauces or soups. You can also shred veggies like zucchini or carrots into muffins or pancakes. It's a great way to boost nutrition without turning mealtime into a battle. I know this is a tough one. Kids do need to see what they're eating in order to start to eat it on their own and like it. So sneaking stuff into food is not the best idea, but it does improve the nutritional value of foods. It also is really good to add fiber by doing things like this. So take that one with a grain of salt. So I'm going to say tip 65 is sometimes sneak veggies into meals. Tip 66, use a slow cooker. Yes. Oh God. Okay. The problem with the slow cooker is why is it so big? I have nowhere to put it. Okay. Someone tell me where to put my slow cooker. Because if you put it in the lower cabinet, it's just such a pain to get out. Should I just leave it on my counter? Is it ugly? Are there pretty ones? Someone make a pretty slow cooker. All right. This one says a slow cooker or an Instant Pot is a lifesaver for busy parents. Toss in ingredients in the morning and by dinner time, you'll have a warm, home-cooked meal ready to serve. Soups and stews, casseroles, pulled meats, the possibilities are endless. Plus, it's a great way to prepare healthy, balanced meals without the stress of evening prep. Okay, so true. But I also, you have to plan ahead, which also not good at. And I don't know, I use a lot of canned things when I use the slow cooker. Anyway, does anybody have a good slow cooker recipe? Okay, moving on. Get your slow cooker out. Okay, 67, tip 67, have a sick day kit. Okay, this is a good idea for health. You need to figure out what your household needs. But this one says, be prepared when illness strikes by keeping a dedicated sick day kit in an easily accessible spot. All right. The thing about this is like literally, I think like half of the parents that come into my clinic, I'll ask them about the fever and they're like, I couldn't find my thermometer. Like no one can ever find their thermometer. So have a sick day kit, but maybe have like 12 of them and hide them from your kids or your husband. I don't know. All right. What does the rest of this one say? It says include essentials like a reliable thermometer. See, I just said that. Children's fever reducers. Oh, and check the expiration dates. That's what it says. Good point. Have electrolyte drinks, tissues, and a favorite blanket or stuffed animal for comfort. You can also add age-appropriate books or quiet toys to keep little ones entertained while they rest. Having everything ready will save you time and stress when your child isn't feeling their best. That's a good point, just so you have a kit to grab. And the tip about electrolyte drinks, I usually do keep either powdered Pedialyte or powdered Gatorade at home because like otherwise you have that stuff and it's like 3.5 years old. So I like to have the powder around so you don't have to keep it in the fridge, blah, 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 blah. All right. We are moving on to a new category, and that is social skills and manners, most of which you can tell I lack. So this is a good section for me. All right, I'm going to listen up here. Tip 68, model gratitude. Okay, we've sort of talked about this and some other tips and other ways to do this, like having a journal, blah, blah, blah. Okay, this one says, teach kids to say thank you by doing it yourself. Oh, good point. Kids learn best by watching their parents, so make gratitude a regular part of your day. Say thank you to your partner, your children, and even the barista who hands you your coffee. When kids see you expressing gratitude, it becomes second nature for them. You can also point out moments to be grateful, like a sunny day or a delicious dinner, to show appreciation for the small joys in life. This is a great tip. So I think this is sort of like just put your inner monologue outside. So even if you're thinking thank you or thinking it's pretty outside, like say it out loud in front of your kids. Tip 69, teach kindness early. Let's see what this one says. I don't remember who sent this to me. It says, kindness is a skill that grows with practice. Sit down with your child and act out different scenarios like helping a friend who's fallen or sharing toys. Ask, what would you do in this situation? Role-playing makes abstract concepts more tangible and prepares kids to respond with empathy and care when the moment arises in real life. I think this one was from a psychologist. I know this one. That's very complicated. Okay. So it says kindness is a skill that grows with practice. Yeah, so that's great. Have your kids practice kindness. Tip 70, teach manners through play. Okay, so very similarly, this is kind of like role-playing, but playing. Turn manners into a fun game. Set up a pretend tea party or restaurant where kids can practice polite phrases like please, thank you, and excuse me. Ooh, that's a good idea. Okay. Correct them gently when they forget and praise them when they use their manners. These playful interactions make learning etiquette enjoyable rather than a chore. God, I think my kids actually did this in elementary school. I think they had like a pretend dinner and they had to practice like how to set up forks and stuff. Oh my God, I sound like I'm from the 1950s. This was only like 10 years ago. All right, tip 71, practice active listening. Oh God, this is like so hard. Okay, show your kids that their thoughts and feelings matter by practicing active listening. When they tell you something, repeat it back in your own words. Oh, this is a really good idea. I talk about this all the time about dealing with your teenagers. Like, don't give them advice. Instead, just repeat what they said back in your own words. It makes them think you really hear them. Okay, so this one says, repeat it back in your own words like, so you're saying the slide at recess was too crowded. This helps kids feel heard and teaches them how to listen to others. Active listening strengthens your bond and models respectful communication. I think this might be one of my favorite tips here, just because I find it really hard, but it's also extremely useful. You can do this at work too. Like if somebody's being kind of annoying and just like complaining, just repeat back what they said and summarize it. Tip 72, teach phone etiquette. Practice answering politely and leaving voicemails. Oh my God, we actually did this in my Girl Scout troop. We did it with regular phone calls, but also with emergency calls so that kids would feel comfortable calling 911. So practice this. Okay, it says phone etiquette is an important life skill, even in the age of texting. I know, I think it's gotten to the point where like no one knows how to call on the phone. Like I don't know a kid who would ever order food by calling a restaurant. Okay, this says, teach kids to answer the phone with a polite hello. This is John. Practice leaving simple voicemails together like, hi, this is John. I'm calling to ask about my toothpaste order. Please call me back. Thank you. Role playing these interactions can help them feel confident and prepared when they need to use the phone. I know, I really think like half of this generation is like terrified of the phone. Like they would like never call someone. Anyway, all of these social skills and manners are going to serve your children well in their interactions with friends and probably professors, in the future. Up next, I'm going to focus on you, the parent, and how we can take care of ourselves when we don't have much time, because a happy, well-rested parent is a better parent.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Tip 73, set aside time for yourself. This one says, parenting is a full-time gig, and it's easy to pour all of your energy into your kids without leaving any for yourself. But here's the thing. When you are running on empty, it's harder to be the present parent you want to be. So carve out a little me time, whether it's enjoying a quiet cup of coffee, going for a walk, or doing a hobby. Recharging your batteries helps you show up as your best self. That is a really good point. Okay, make time to recharge yourself. Tip 74, be flexible. Oh God. Okay. This is a crucial skill for a parent. This one says, let's be real. Kids are the ultimate curveball pitchers. That's a good way to look at it. One moment you're on track to leave the house on time, and the next there's a shoe missing, a meltdown, or an emergency request for a snack. Being flexible does not mean you have to give up on plans. It means learning to roll with the punches and pivot when things go sideways. Sometimes unexpected moments are where the best memories are made. Okay, that should be like our mantra, when you're like harried and freaking out and everything's going wrong. Say to yourself, sometimes the best memories are made during those unexpected moments. Okay, I'm going to put that one on a t-shirt. Tip 75, celebrate your wins. Parenting is hard. Acknowledge your efforts. Okay, this is a good one to end this section on. We're going to celebrate our wins. Write that one down. Parenting can feel like a never-ending to-do list, and it's easy to focus on what didn't get done. But take a moment to celebrate the victories, big or small. Did everyone get out the door with their shoes on? Win. Did you keep your cool during a tantrum? Win. Remember, you're doing a hard job. Every effort you make counts. Treat yourself to a little celebration, whether it's a piece of chocolate, a quiet bath, or just taking a second to yourself and say, I am rocking this, because you deserve it. Celebrate your wins. All right, now I'm on to a completely random assortment of tips that I didn't know how to categorize, or I think I maybe just got tired. Tip 76, pack busy bags. This one said, keep small toys, coloring books, or puzzles in a bag for on-the-go entertainment. These are lifesavers during long car rides, doctor visits, or situations where waiting is inevitable. So these are great to just throw in your purse. So just make a couple of busy bags, and it can be like from the 99-cent store in a Ziploc bag. But this is a really, really good tip. I like that one. Tip 77, use a chore chart. A simple chart can assign age-appropriate tasks and track progress. It teaches responsibility and gives kids a sense of accomplishment. So I've seen a lot of different chore charts. You can make one, but there's also some really cool magnetic ones and other ones you can shop around for. This also might be a really cool gift to give to another mom or to a kid at a party. Tip 78, teach a secret signal. Oh, this one's good. We had one in my family. I have to try to remember what it was. Okay, this mom said, create a discreet signal like a tug on the ear or a specific word that your child can use to alert you when they're uncomfortable or need help. Oh, I remember my daughter, she was 8 or 9, and we made her word coffee because I knew she would never actually ask for coffee. So if we were in a situation, or if a friend asked her for a play date or a sleepover in front of me, in front of the friend, and she didn't want to do it, she would just say, oh, Mom, did you get your coffee? Or can I have some coffee? And then I'd know that I could gently just make an excuse that she didn't have to do whatever. Anyway, tip 79, practice what you preach. Okay. This is good for every single aspect of your life. This parent said, kids are like little mirrors. They reflect what they see. Model the behaviors you want to teach, like kindness, honesty, and respect in your daily interactions. This is the one that's like, if you're in the car driving and you're in traffic and you get all like angry and you're yelling, and then later you see your kid getting frustrated, you realize like they're just copying exactly what you just did. So it really is unfair that parents have to be on their best behavior like all the time. It like makes me want to like leave my kids in the living room and go into a closet and just like be the horrible person that I truly am inside. No, actually, I'm a really nice person. I mean, sometimes I'm not that nice. Tip 80, keep it simple. Oh, okay. This one says less really can be more. Avoid overloading schedules and toy collections to give kids time and space to explore, imagine, and relax. I love that this one says keep it simple, and then they only sent me like 2 sentences because the other ones, like some people wrote like literally a book. Keep it simple. This is true. I would say that I have like so many patients of every age, literally from probably age 4 to 21, who are so overscheduled that it just impacts their entire well-being. Let's try to be more simple. Tip 81, let kids make mistakes. This is probably true for us too. Like, let yourself make mistakes. Like, it's fine. Mistakes are powerful learning opportunities. Resist the urge to fix everything and let your kids figure out solutions. They'll grow more confident and capable. That's a tough one. Let's start to pay attention to when mistakes are made and just pause for a second. And then if you've made the mistake, maybe forgive yourself in front of your child. Like, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, well, I guess I'll do it better next time. Or if they make a mistake, maybe let them sort through how they can fix it. Tip 82, create a yes space. Okay, we've actually talked about this a bit, especially with toddlers. You want to have a space in your home, for example, where the child can be free and you don't have to say no or take things away. It says, designate an area where everything is safe for your child to explore and play freely. It fosters independence and reduces the need for constant supervision. Oh, okay, that's exactly what I thought it was going to say. I did a whole entire episode on this recently. It was on safety in the home. Tip 83, plan downtime. Ooh, this is a good way to not overschedule, is like schedule downtime. This one says, too many activities can overwhelm kids and parents. Make sure to include quiet, unscheduled time in your routine for everyone to recharge. Okay, this is awesome because how if you have like jujitsu on Tuesday and scouts on Wednesday and like swimming on Thursday, why don't we just do like, jujitsu on Tuesday and Wednesday is chill day. Like we go home and color in a coloring book or do whatever we want. Plan it. I love it. Tip 84, teach, stop, and hug. Okay, this is like completely random pivot here, but I love this one. This was a dad who sent this in. He said, when tempers are flaring, pause for a hug. Physical connection can diffuse conflict and remind both of you that love comes first, even in tough moments. Yeah, this was actually from a dad who was a teenager who said sometimes when they're just freaking out, he just pauses and he's like, give me a hug. Good dad. Good dad. All right, we're in the final 15 tips, counting down. All right, or up, I don't know. Anyway, we're counting towards 100. Tip 85, use white noise. Ooh, even my brother-in-law, who is literally a child psychiatrist, has white noise in his house like all night long for all of them. He's legitimately an expert on this. He's probably right. So this one, and it's not from him. He didn't send this one in, but I bet he would agree. White noise mimics the soothing, consistent sounds of the womb, making it a great sleep aid for babies and young kids. Whether it's dedicated as a white noise machine or an app on your phone, it helps block out sudden noises that can disrupt everyone's sleep. Yeah, and they can be quite loud. Yes, love white noise machines. Tip 86, have a backup lovey. Oh, I'll tell you a story after this. Okay, this one says, kids get attached to a particular stuffed animal or blanket, their lovey. It's a source of comfort, but what happens if it goes missing? Having an identical backup ensures no bedtime meltdowns when the original is in the wash or accidentally left at grandma's house. I know my poor son, he had these 2 giraffes, Jeffrey and George. He had them forever and he left them in a hotel room. We never got them back. And it was like, I think it still scars him. Anyway, it scars me. Tip 87, make time for your spouse or friends. Oh, yeah. This one says, parenting is all consuming. I feel like that's been a theme. I think like 20 people wrote that into me. Parenting is all consuming, but nurturing your adult relationships is important. Regular date nights or coffee meetups with friends can help you recharge and bring more patience and energy to your parenting. Okay, so this one's kind of interesting because I did recently see a parent who pointed out that a lot of times when, as parents, we make social engagement plans, we include it as a play date with our kids. And so we've got the parents and you're so distracted watching your kids that you can't actually connect with that other parent. So try to make space and time for one-on-one time with another adult without kids present. I know it's a novel idea. Tip 88. Okay, this might be my favorite tip. This was from a parent in my clinic, Eva. She said, this is such a gem. She said, tip 88, don't introduce Elf on the Shelf ever. I know, think about it. She said, spare yourself the stress, focus instead on simpler holiday traditions that bring joy without adding to your to-do list. Anyway, Elf on the Shelf. And certainly do not try to be competitive on Instagram with it. Maybe just enjoy watching others' Elf on the Shelf. Tip 89, teach deep breathing. It's a lifelong stress management tool. Yes, we've talked about this a few times. Deep breathing isn't just for calming tantrums. It's a skill your child can use throughout their entire life to manage stress. You can teach them bubble breathing. That means inhale deeply as if blowing up a giant bubble, then exhale slowly to pop it. Inhale deeply as if blowing up a giant bubble. Anyway, breathing. There's lots of options. Tip 90, use visual rewards. Charts with stickers for daily achievements. Okay, good point. Kids thrive on positive reinforcement, and a sticker chart is a simple yet effective tool, whether it's for getting dressed or finishing homework. Celebrate small wins with stickers. It builds their confidence and sense of achievement. Good one. Tip 91. We're getting there, guys. Emphasize play over perfection. Ooh, okay. What does this one say? It says, finger painting, mud pies, and fort building might look chaotic, but they are the foundation of creativity and problem-solving skills. Let go of your need for neatness. These moments are where the magic happens. Okay, one thing I really want to emphasize here on this thought of emphasizing play over perfection is that kids actually learn to eat better when they play with their food. So this really starts from day one. I had a patient yesterday who told me her kid never eats anything and he always just smears it and throws it on the floor. And so she stops him from doing that so she doesn't give him any food. So I pointed out, you need to let him be messy. Go ahead and let him throw all the food on the floor and smash it in his hands and put it in his hair. Who cares? It's part of the process. Tip 92, create a quiet box. Oh, we've got so many boxes and kits we have to make. This is like kit 12. Okay, this one says a quiet box is a lifesaver for moments when you need uninterrupted time. Put in there puzzles, coloring, supplies, or small toys that your child can only get during quiet time. Keep the contents fresh and exciting. Oh my God, so many boxes. Tip 93, teach problem solving. Ask your child, what do you think we should do? All right, this is a good one. This listener wrote in, instead of immediately solving your child's problems, guide your kids to think through solutions. This builds resilience and critical thinking. Start with simple scenarios and gradually introduce more complex ones as they grow. So you can literally just start even with the 3-year-old who says they want to go to the playground and play on the swings, but there's a kid there and they want the swing. Turn to your child and say, what do you think you should do? And they can give you options and just keep saying, do you have any other ideas? Because their idea might be to not go on the swing and go on the slide and wait, or to ask the child to get off the swing, or just say, can I be in line? So there's lots of options. All right, I don't even know what I'm talking about at this point. Okay, tip 94, model gratitude. I feel like we've done this 40 times. Okay, so we're going to be gracious people. Kids learn gratitude by observing you. Share what you're thankful for at the dinner table or in daily conversations. Encourage them to say thank you often and watch as their sense of appreciation grows. Tip 95, practice active listening. Oh, shoot. Sorry, I already did this one. I didn't realize I had multiple. All right. So multiple people think that we all need to listen. This tip says, when your child speaks, give them your full attention. Put down your phone, make eye contact, and acknowledge their feelings. This strengthens your bond and teaches them to listen to others. Okay, we're going to put down our phone and make eye contact. Let's start with that. Active listening. Tip 96, celebrate failure. This one says, failure is not the end, it's a stepping stone. Celebrate the effort your child puts in and discuss what they can learn from setbacks. This mindset encourages resilience and growth. So yes, failure can be a valuable learning tool. Tip 97, be around when your kids are teenagers and have lots of snacks on hand. Oh, I think this one's actually from me. I snuck this in. I didn't have enough tips. I only had 96 tips. All right. I said, teenagers value your presence more than your advice. Being there, ready to listen or provide snacks creates a safe space for them. Sometimes the best parenting move is just to be available. Also, just keep your mouth shut. Just stand there, like literally just stand there with a snack and see what happens. Tip 98, give your kids an allowance. Oh, this one's from me too. Teaching kids financial literacy starts with an allowance. Whether they earn it through chores or get it weekly, it's an opportunity to teach budgeting, saving, and the value of money. Actually, I think I kind of misspoke here or miswrote. An allowance is money that you give your children so that they can learn how to budget and not spend all your money. We don't need to pay them for their chores. You are part of the household. You do chores. You don't get paid for it. And that's kind of my take on it. Anyway, I would love to do an entire episode on teaching financial literacy. So if anybody knows somebody, please message me. I would love to have you as a guest. Tip 99, create a routine. This one says, this one's not from me. Children thrive on structure, consistent bedtimes, consistent meal times, and all routines provide security and reduce power struggles. A predictable day fosters cooperation and helps the whole family function smoothly. So I actually have a fair number of patients who are in the military because we're close to a lot of bases. And I find that those families really do have predictability to their day. They very much run on routine. And those kids seem to be very happy. You know, those power struggles come up when kids don't know what to expect. But if they know when bedtime is, when they know when mealtime is, they just love it. Okay, tip 100. We're on the last tip. Oh, okay. Okay, this is a great tip. This one is from Katie. She said, tip 100, the product I cannot live without is the Bumco butt spatula. Okay, so we're not going to start Elf on the Shelf and we're going to buy the Bumco butt spatula. That's BUMCO apparently. Katie hilariously endorsed this spatula and it's spot on. This tool makes applying diaper cream easier and mess-free, just like frosting a tiny wiggly cake. It's a practical hack for every parenting duty. I said duty. And I have one more bonus tip, and this is tip 101. Keep listening to The Pediatrician Next Door and follow the show on Instagram at The Pediatrician Next Door for more tips each and every week. Thank you for listening to over 100 episodes of The Pediatrician Next Door.
For more from The Pediatrician Next Door, find me on the web at pediatriciannextdoorpodcast.com. If you've got a question about the weird things kids do, send an email to hello@pediatriciannextdoorpodcast.com for a chance to hear your voice on the show. I'm Dr. Wendy Hunter, and I'm the Pediatrician Next Door. This show is produced by Red Rock Music. Make sure to subscribe and leave a review wherever it is you're listening. I'll be back next time with more.